I'm not a big fan of lead generation.
Okay.
I want customer generation, but you can't eat leads. It's frowned upon. You want customers, So I'd much rather
painful for
I'd much rather go for the customer. So a lot of people were hung up on lead magnets and all this kind of thing, getting the opt-in. It's like I would rather get someone with a very high level of buying intent.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to generate leads, I would be like, fill this out if you want to get fit in the next 30 days. Like, that's different than free ebook reveals magic formula. Hey, what's happening? My name is Frank Kern. Haven't had a job since 1999. I mean, look at me, I'm unemployable. But that year also happened to be the year I discovered you could sell things to people on the internet without having to talk to them. Since then, I've sold, $50 million worth of my own intellectual property and a lot of other people's stuff too. And in this video, we're going to answer questions that people ask me a lot on social media, specifically about selling stuff on the interwebs. How about we get started?
Let's do it.
Are we looking normal?
Who cares?
I
we don't
have
need to look
dedicated
normal.
my life to looking normal.
This is how we look, though.
I desperately want to fit in.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm serious.
We have a lot of questions.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions today.
Man.
When you first got started, it felt like there was a very distinct persona being portrayed. It felt like an intentional character of the cool surfer dude who's living this lifestyle. And now when you shifted your marketing to be more geared towards a different-ish audience for a different offer, it felt like there was a very fast persona shift to more corporate guy that could relate to them, visually cutting off the hair. I know you've said there was no connection in the past, but it's hard for people like me to believe, especially when you see newcomers like Alex Hormozi, who seem to be taken on a very similar physical persona that seems intentional, all the weird nose strips. Can you talk about the power of persona in your marketing and displaying a visual connection with who your customers aspire to be and how you show up online?
Good Lord, that's an exhausting question.
We can publish it as a book later, but...
That's something. Well, first of all, whoever asked that, thank you so much for paying so much attention.
We and Luna want to know.
Yeah, there's a free cat for anyone who wants one. She manufactures hair constantly, and it will show up on camera. Man, that's funny. So she's referring to years ago, probably 15 years ago. I had long, bright white hair, and the reason is because I surfed in that ocean every day for about 4 hours. And I didn't want to get a haircut because I don't like going to the barber shop because you have to make small talk with the barber, and it makes me uncomfortable.
I met you when you had long hair and no shoes.
Yeah, that's right. And I have shoes on even as we speak.
Yep.
So that wasn't a persona. I think that creating and cultivating a persona would be exhausting. That would be awful because oh shit, am I doing my persona thing, So I just lived that way.
Yeah.
I lived at the beach. I surfed every day. I didn't care about having, looking normal or whatever. And I ended up having really short hair largely by accident. So
I remember that.
My version of washing your hair was just going in the ocean. It works pretty good for a couple of years. Then it got all split ends and weird, so I went to get a haircut, and I was like, make it cool like Richard Branson's. You remember this?
I remember the haircut.
The lady gave me the best haircut ever.
I remember that, yes.
I go back, and I was like, do the same thing you did. And she's like, okay. And gave me a 1997 infomercial dude haircut. It was looked like a bowl. I was like, damn it. So then I had to go to the barber shop, and I'm in the barber shop, and I sit down, and I get nervous in crowds, especially in small rooms with a lot of people. And so it's me, and there's 3 barber chairs, and it's all dudes, and they're all like, "Rrr." And the guy's like, what do you want? And I didn't want to go find a picture or whatever. And so the guy beside me said, I'll have a number 1 fade. And I was like, I'll have a number 1 fade. And I didn't know what number 1 fade meant. And apparently what it means is really short hair. And so I was like, well, okay. I hope Natalia likes this, all right. It turns out you did. And that was that.
I didn't know I did, but yeah.
It worked out. She might not, y'all, really. But let's just pretend she does. But yeah, it had nothing to do with anything. It was all purely happenstance. And I probably act a little differently now because I'm not as intoxicated as I was back then. So that whole era when, people think I was playing a persona of a surfer dude, I was basically blasted and surfed all the time and was super baked and was partying, and now I'm not. So I might be a little bit more articulate.
We're also much younger.
My favorite is why do you look different? And I love the answer I always give is, well, miraculously I didn't die. And as a result of not dying, I have aged.
Yes, it's a blessing to age. I'm happy we do.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right about the pressure of playing a persona. On one hand, it's easier to have a camera persona that kind of protects you and gives you more privacy in the real world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's too much work.
It would be exhausting.
Well, definitely for you.
The Hormozy reference, Alex is like that.
Exactly.
Like, I know Alex. He's exactly like what he appears to be on camera.
I think people put too much
I'm in
focus.
much better shape than him, obviously. I think we can all agree on that. He's such a wuss. But other than that, he's exactly like,
I think people put too much focus on how things are portrayed on camera.
Most important person in the equation is the viewer or the reader. Like, it's never, who gives a damn what, Well,
I think maybe they think about the memorable aspect. They want to be memorable, certain haircuts, certain things.
Alex can't breathe through his nose. That's why he wears those nose straps. That would suck, too. The guy's had 2 nasal surgeries. Like, it's horrible. It can't be any fun. It's not like, I need to differentiate myself. Like,
and
if I cared about corporate stuff, I would not have tattoos that make me look like a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, you kill one person, they label you,
We did not.
That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I learned online marketing like 8 years ago, but I didn't do anything with it. Now I am starting up again. Where do I even begin?
The stuff you learned 8 years ago, start there. I mean, the formula is never going to change.
Basics.
It's always like, okay, find out what people want, find a way to deliver that to them. That's the most important thing, is being able to give them what they want. And then, like, create a sales message, which is, here's what I got, here's what we'll do for you, here's what I want you to do next, and say that a lot. And eventually something will click. You'll say it the right way, and then once you say it the right way, keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it. It is easier said than done, but I mean, that's the magic formula. Here's what I got, here's what it'll do for you, here's what I want you to do next, is going to work for our great-great-grandchildren.
Yeah. The tools update, the message is the same. Okay, another question. Next one is, people are interested about your personal stories, about the old days of advertising.
I guess the
Or
early
maybe
days
your
of
old
the
days, your personal stories.
internet marketing. I think one of the most memorable things to me was when John Reese made $1 million in a day. He was the first person to ever do that. And I had just landed from Australia, I think. And he texted me, and this is back then, like, texting was, you had to hit the number like 7 times to display the right letter, on your phone. So I'm like trying to text him back. He's like, dude, we just hit $1 million. And that was incredible to me, because no one had ever done that before. And the amount of preparation he did for that. And our friend Mike Long also helped him with that. And that was really, really cool to see, and back then, like a seminar, like an internet marketing seminar or something, would be 200 people. And we thought it was huge. We'd be like, oh my God, dude, there's 200 people.
Well, if you put them in one room, yes, that's a lot of people.
Well, now, there are like thousands and thousands of people at these things. But back then, we were really blown away that, like, this has gotten big. And one of the most interesting things to me was back then, the idea of buying information online. Any sort of online course about anything, sewing, whatever.
What did he sell?
John was selling something about traffic. But it wasn't normal yet, So like now it's normal. Everybody, there's masterclass.com and all this stuff. None of that stuff was there. So selling anything on the internet other than like tires or something was met with such immense skepticism. So it's it really was harder back then.
Right. Yeah.
It's easier now. It's great. We live in the best time ever.
Did you get inspired by that day? Because you did a lot of things too after it.
I had to win. So like John and I are very competitive. He's a very good friend of mine. So I'm like, well, this will not stand. And we can't have this.
Yeah.
So I was but more than inspired. I wanted to beat his record because he would lord it over me for the rest of our lives. And he was still first. So he's still kind of.
I think it's pretty incredible. Yeah. You did good.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right. Maria is asking to call her. I can call her. I'm also really interested.
There's someone who's some guys. I put a thing on Instagram saying I'm going to actually shoot real content what do you want to know? And like a couple hundred people or hundreds, I don't know, a lot of people answered or asked the question. One of the things just said, call me?
No, it's actually her birthday, and she's a huge fan. So she wants you to call her.
So wish her a happy birthday. What's her name?
It was 2 weeks ago.
Well, still, it's a nice thing.
Belated birthday.
Happy
Maria.
Birthday to Maria. I'm not
Happy
going
birthday,
to call
Maria.
you.
Okay, I'm also really interested in copywriting and AI. Bonnie is asking.
Okay.
I frequently use the tone of Frank Kern when I was working with Claude and other AI models, and it always improved the copywriting style. So whatever it stole from you on the internet is working. How are you using AI in copywriting today?
So here's what's really cool about the AI and copywriting. First of all, I don't think we're there yet, where we can just say, write me a sales letter, and it'll write like a really, really good one, but it'll write one that's better than what 99% of the Earth's population can write, which is pretty freaking solid. My favorite thing right now about AI is you can upload like a book to Claude, and then you can say, read this book, and now write me an ad or a sales letter about this book based on the contents of this book. And the ad is now real. So, or true rather, so it's not making anything up. So to me, that's like a million years ahead of where I ever thought anything would happen with AI. Because, when you go to hire a real copywriter, they actually have to read your entire product, and then they write everything based on the angles and hooks they find by going through the content or whatever. And now a machine will do that and will do a pretty damn good job. I think the trick to using AI in copy is, number one, understand it's a helper. It's not the end all. It's like tease you up, and gets you to the...
Yeah, you still need to know what you're doing.
Is it the 1 yard line in football or the 99 yard? Whatever the thing is before you get a home run in football.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, so whatever the base you're on in football before the home run, it gets you almost on that base.
Yes.
Before you get the goal, the football goal in the basket. So that's the first thing about AI. But like every sales letter or sales message is broken down into chunks. There's your headline, your open, your transition to the offer, description of benefits, presentation of value, presentation of price, risk reversal, addition of bonuses, guarantee, urgency, PS. And so you need to use AI to write each one of those pieces individually. And that's how to make it really perform for you. So instead of saying, write me a sales letter like Frank Kern, it's not going to do that good of a job. But if you have it write me a headline and then write me the open and then write me this,
structure,
and, cut and paste and then edit, you'll be doing pretty good.
Yeah, then sounding like anyone else.
We have cats for sale. If we could get the cat's butt on camera, that would be wonderful. We spend most of our waking hours involuntarily staring at our cat's butt.
By we, he means me.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to know if Frank is the real chief engineer at NASA.
Retired, okay? So my full official made-up title, according to the International Bureau of People Who Assign Fake Credentials, is Dr. Frank Kern, attorney at law, chief engineer at NASA, retired. And I can neither confirm nor deny that I was forcefully retired due to me forgetting to put the gas cap on that one space shuttle where the incident happened.
Aren't you happy you asked?
Yeah.
All right, honestly, it seems everyone is becoming more and more addicted to social media. How are you proactively thinking about social media postings and running a business at the same time?
So, first of all, I don't think about social media at all. I don't use it. It's a broadcast medium for me. I try not to look at it. It's like, I don't like to argue with people on social media. I don't care. I'm not a social person. I do care about the message that gets out there and whether or not it'll be beneficial to people. Don't know how the algorithm works. Don't care how the algorithm works. Don't care about followers. I do think that long form content produces a better viewer in the sense that whoever's watching long form is going to be more likely to develop a relationship with you and therefore more likely to buy your stuff. So from a making sense for time put into dollars put out standpoint, I think long form is a much better call. This video and the one that we shot last week is the first real video actually has, other people shooting it besides me on the
Pre-planned.
phone.
I think it helps.
Yeah, this is the first one or the second one since
doing it together.
2019.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it actually.
You don't have to have a whole bunch of people.
No, you can do it all by yourself. You don't really need big teams. It helps having professionals handling certain aspects of it, especially when it comes to editing, especially when it comes to great sound and footage, but it doesn't have to start with that.
Don't wait. Don't wait.
Exactly.
One day
I think
I'll
it's a
get
great point.
people to film me, no, pick up the phone, talk into
Just
the
do
phone,
it.
post it. Who cares?
You choose a platform to start with and go from there and grow from there.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
If you kill enough brain cells, you too can not overthink things. Thank you, years 1987
Did
through
we answer the question?
2012.
Okay. Step by step. Kellen is interested in step-by-step strategy. If you were starting from zero, which skills you'd acquire in which order, and how you try to launch into the best in the world in your current area of expertise, starting from knowing nothing. How can you be an expert
That doesn't know anything. Yeah.
nothing?
So
knowing nothing of what? No. How do?
I think it was what would you do if you had to start all over is probably...
From the ground up, mindset to character traits to specific skill sets.
Is there anyone that has an easy question? We have one that's simple, like what's your favorite color? Here's what I would do.
What's your favorite color?
It's something easy, So if I had to start all over again and I didn't have an audience and nobody knew me, and let's just say everybody hated me, let's make it even worse. Everyone was mad at me. I would sell to small business. I think the biggest blue ocean out there ever is the small locally owned business that doesn't have marketing software. And they don't follow up with their leads, and people are missing phone calls and all that stuff. So I wouldn't try to be an influencer or an expert. I would sell them software that does that. That software is called High Level. I use it. That's what we built Rainmaker off of. And instead of making anything about me, I would just demonstrate the software to them and be like, hey, text this number. And then they would text it, and then they would start talking to an AI appointment booking bot. And then you'd be like, you want one of those?
Yeah.
And then they'd say yes or no.
Yeah.
And that would be the whole pitch, and I would just keep doing that. And I'd likely be okay.
You don't become an expert overnight. It took you 25 years to be where you are today. And
yeah, it's like that line from whatever movies the Rock is in. Kevin Hart's like, dude, you used to be out of shape. You look great. How'd you do it? And he's like, it's easy. I just worked
anybody can do it.
Every day for 8 hours a day for 8 years. Anyone can do it.
Exactly. So I think it just points out to traits of a character. It would be consistency. Just pick your field. Just become great at it and be consistent. Mm-hmm. Day in and day out, even when nobody's buying and nobody's interested,
I think
just
being
become
consistent
interesting.
is even more important than being great. Just like
you become great by being consistent. Nobody becomes great right away.
You and your logic.
You have to be consistent.
I know now that you mention it. Fine.
Here, Kaylin, we answered.
You won. You see, this is. I'm really 33 years old. I just look old because my wife just wears me down.
Oh, poor thing. Mm-hmm. How do you validate copywriting research fastest way possible?
I don't know what that means. Wait, I think I do actually. Copywriting research. So how do you make sure that the facts are accurate? Google.
But you also, you research a lot and you collect your own data so you can compare it to stats and not feelings. Mm-hmm. I think it's a really important
But if I were writing an ad
about
like tires or something, I would figure out, whatever the angle is. So what are people worried about with tires? Are they going to go bald fast, or is it going to hydroplane? And then I would look up whatever stats are, about how tires hydroplane or what the average tire life
Winter
is.
Tires, summer tires.
Yeah. And then just kind of go from there.
Tires.
There's any kind of tires you want. Tractor tires, motorcycle tires, bicycle tires. We got tires.
All right. Now I know where to go. Why video crew? You've been down the fancy road?
Yes. Is the question why am I using a video crew?
Yeah, because why?
Because I don't have the self-discipline to do it myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I have to be where,
Fletcher?
like, if I don't show up, I'm paying for it anyway. So it's like I got to show up and be on camera. Otherwise, I'll just.
And because then you go into editing yourself, and I need a husband. So
don't tell them. Now you're gonna have people coming out going, "I'll replace him."
No, I need my husband. I don't
Thank
need a husband. I need my husband. I'm Ukrainian. I'll speak incorrectly all the time.
There's going to be suitors showing up.
I don't need suitors. And then they will be bringing me back and paying you to take me back. Please take her back. Okay, how about a video on something like universal laws and manifestation? I think you would have a good take on it.
I do. I think all that stuff works. The universal law of you reap what you sow is true. So try to sow a lot of good stuff.
I agree. And act for love.
I don't know how to, like, if we could figure out how to say that, but make it
Well, you
complicated
actually
sounding.
have said that in your Perfect Day presentation many times over. What's the name of it?
Core influence.
Core influence. You can find that.
On the YouTubes. On
Frank
someone
had a
else's channel,
really
probably.
good take on it, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Core
But it
influence.
works, I think. I mean, I really do think all that stuff works.
It works in the system. You can't just sit and manifest. You have to do the work.
The more seeds of goodness you sow, the more goodness you will reap. The end.
Yes.
So it's like do a whole lot of
Yeah.
goodness sowing.
Hey, Frank.
Hello.
Start with. I can't pronounce their names, so I'm just. There was no sense to the. There's a lot of letters.
I know.
I speak multiple languages. This is not my language. Hey, Frank. Start with how be on the market for more than 20 years and keep selling my offers without burning out my audience and don't get completely broke.
So I think the question is, how do you stay in business?
How do you
for
stay
a long
relevant,
time?
not pestering the audience, not burning the...
Everything works with
Chart.
goodwill. So you have to be putting deposits into the bank of goodwill. But the only reason people are still buying from me 25 years later is because I put deliberate effort into maintaining the goodwill and trying to make good stuff for them and make good free stuff and be helpful and like be nice, you know, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
do what I say I'm going to do. And
Demonstrating the value of your work.
like the whole results in advance thing that I've taught for 20 something years, it still applies. You know, that is the magic formula.
Yeah.
So I think anyone could do that if you just keep on, and it's easier said than done, you know, but like try to put the goodwill first. I know sometimes it's hard because you want to make money as fast as you can or whatever, but always focus on the goodwill. And
Well,
you're
the
gonna be
$1 million
okay.
day didn't come in one day.
No. When
was
John did
years-
that, he
exactly.
worked for years to get to that point.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
don't become an expert or virtuoso in one day. It takes years, even with the natural gift.
Yeah, but I think they were asking like, how do you stay relevant? And not-
Relevant, yeah.
yeah.
You
I
just...
don't care about being relevant, really. I just want to be like, is this helpful? If you're helping people, then you are relevant to them because you're helping them.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think you want to help people and that's caring for being relevant. No?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Because I think like relevance, like, okay, how do I make sure that I'm still important to these people? And I really don't care about it. I want to help them. And then I know that being helpful to them provides everything else.
Well,
know,
you
so it
care
doesn't
about the
matter.
importance of the message, not how being, it's not self-importance, it's about the importance of the message and how it can actually change or improve their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an important distinction though. Because the
I
minute
agree.
I make it about me, I'm
Right.
losing. You know, the second anything's about me, it's like, well, it's going to diminish.
And that's where the audience get bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. All right, a reminder of the basics. Old school tied into new school strategies, tactics, and tools. Thanks for all you do, Frank Kern. Craig.
Oh, you're welcome, Craig. I don't know what the question was, but there are no new school tactics. All the new stuff does is allow us to do the fundamentals
It's the
better.
packaging.
It just lets us do the fundamentals faster and more, consistently and at greater scale. You know, that's it. And we have the great fortune of now having machine learning and artificial intelligence in our favor in the sense that I can make an ad that just says, watch this if you want to buy a horse. And Facebook's algorithm, so I'm running that ad. If someone clicks on it and responds to it, it's just going to know to show it to more people like the one that clicked on it and responded to it.
True.
So there really isn't, you know, new school stuff. Like this video is basically an infomercial. We don't actually actively pitch anything, but it's an infomercial for goodwill. You know, there's nothing new about that.
Ways of advertising my business other than just paid traffic.
Content. You know, you're either going to spend time or money, or both, and
See, the
there's
same
no other
time.
way to do it. You go door to door, you do direct mail, but that counts as paid traffic. You could do outbound cold calling. You do cold email outbound. You got to be careful with that. Do it right, but you can do that. Can't beat content, but if no one's seeing it, then it doesn't matter, which now you're still getting into paid ads. So I would advise everybody to really embrace the power of paid ads and not be afraid of it, and understand that it's, in my opinion, the greatest thing ever. We live in the greatest time ever for paid ads. So cheap. We're running right now a 38-minute video, which is me talking about writing, sitting in a desk talking about writing. Title of the video is How to Write Good. And it costs under $2 for a United States person who is interested in conversion marketing to watch the entire 38-minute thing. It's that's incredible. Yeah, but that's the opportunity we all have.
Yeah.
So there's someone that could make one about knitting, and you show it to people, and knitting people will watch the damn thing. And then now we've got all this stuff, the machine learning and everything. So it'll start showing it to more people, like the one who watched it. If you just put a couple of ad dollars behind it, people get so afraid of advertising. I don't get it,
Maybe because they're not there where they wanted to be with content. Good luck.
Let's guilt them. What's wrong with you people? You people.
There's nothing wrong. I would be afraid
By
of it
you
too.
people, I'm talking specifically about Canadians.
Oh my gosh.
Nicest people in the
Lead
world.
generation. The answer.
That was all they said?
Yep.
That was the question.
Be more specific.
Ladies and gentlemen, the question was lead generation. I'm not a big fan of lead generation.
Okay.
I want customer generation. So I would much rather drive somebody to something that says, read this if you want to get fit in the next 30 days. If I'm a gym owner or something. And then I would say that would be the big image in the ad, and then the body copy would say, fill this out for more information. And then I would have someone call them instead of free ebook reveals. But you can't eat leads. It's frowned upon. You want customers, So I'd much rather go for the customer. So a lot of people were hung up on lead magnets and all this kind of thing, getting the opt-in. It's I would rather get someone with a very high level of buying intent.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to generate leads, I would be fill this out if you want to get fit in the next 30 days. That's different than free ebook reveals magic formula. I want the person who wants to get fit in the next 30 days.
Yeah. How to connect, next one. How to connect with your audience when creating ads. How to figure out what they're thinking when they're thinking about buying but don't know the best service provider yet. Thanks, brother. Great initiative.
That's a good question.
I know.
Everybody is thinking about three things all the time, which is what they want, how they can get it, and what life will be like after they can get it.
That's the questions.
That's what they're thinking about. So it's how do you figure out what they're thinking? Are you making this inappropriate?
I don't know.
You are.
Never.
I'm so embarrassed. How could you?
I don't know what
Such
you're
a
talking about.
dainty little classy lady, and now you've turned this just into a smut show.
The power of perception.
I cannot believe
There wasn't
this.
an intention.
I would like to publicly apologize to everybody watching this. She's normally much worse. That's all they, so I don't really put that much thought into it. It's okay, what do they want? How do they get it? And so I try to answer the how do they get it questions and help them. So yeah, it's I know they're thinking they want something and they're thinking about how they're going to get it. So I want to help them get some of the results they're after within the ad itself, because the more of that you give them, the more they want the thing and the more they trust you. So that's it. Caught that. You're going to get me canceled.
What do you need to put in an ad for it to be successful?
A good offer and
Yeah.
a good call to action.
Yes.
I swear to God, the best ad, if we wanted to sell a horse, it would be read this if you want to buy a horse. Just not kidding. Social media is so powerful in their advertising algorithms. They're that would be 1,000 times better than trying to write some brilliantly crafted story of the ultimate horse, in your ad or whatever. You can do that after
What
they've
a
raised
horse.
their hand, and clicked on that ad. But I found that, I think Jay Abraham said the easiest way to sell a horse is an ad that says horse for sale. I think he's right.
Okay. Stop horsing around. Follow-up sequence.
When it comes to follow-up sequences, the more of them you have, the better. There are two types of emails in the world ever. There's one that says, go click on this, and then there's one that says, click on this and buy it before the deadline. Send a whole lot of those types of emails in varying sequences and you'll do good.
Your 4-day cash machine is good.
It is.
It's a very good follow-up sequence to start with.
Yeah.
Best ad creative ideas for coaching space.
All right, so that's someone who sells coaching and they want to run ads and get coaching clients. Yeah? Is that what that sounds like?
Sounds like it.
Okay. I know it's like so basic, but it would be read this if you want coaching about topic. That's it,
Yeah.
because again, it goes to the way ads work now. We live in the best time ever for advertising. This wouldn't work, 10 years ago, but because algorithms are so smart, when someone like clicks on that ad and responds to it, Facebook or whatever you want to call it, Meta, whatever this name is tomorrow, their algorithm is going to go out and find more people like that.
Yeah.
So if you use that to your advantage by making the ad super obvious, then it's just going to get better and better over time, which allows you to focus on the most important part of any campaign, which is the stuff that happens after they click on the ad.
Content. Yes. Always interested in how and when the worldview or mindset around wealth and value changes to allow more.
What's the question? Is it just me today, or am I something wrong with me?
No.
What is it? What was that again?
How and when the worldview or mindset around wealth and value changes to allow more. This is like
I don't
deep.
know. I don't know what the worldview about anything is.
Well,
I have an internal belief that there's an unbelievable amount of abundance of everything we want in the world, and the only thing that's in our way is us. So it's very beneficial to try to figure out what behaviors and beliefs we have, and everyone's going to be different.
yes.
It's getting in the way, and then try to work on those. But
Yep.
there is no economy. Be like, the economy's bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let's go drive down there and fix it. Where is it? There isn't one. So like, I don't really buy into any of that stuff.
Yeah, I think there is enough for everyone
There's more
in
than
any
enough.
industry.
Yeah.
And if someone did it, so can I.
And there's
So
this
can many.
unbelievable situation we're in now culturally, where the more stuff you buy, the more you have accomplished. Like we celebrate unnecessary expenditure
Yeah.
in our culture, which isn't necessarily good, but from the standpoint of people who sell stuff, it's great, because people are like, yay, buy things. So
Sure.
in my worldview, I guess I can't imagine it getting any better. I'm going to say it because every time I say it, it gets better. There's no way it's going to get any better than it is now. Watch, it'll get better. Every time I say it, it gets better.
Getting better every time. The best would be to show what you're actually doing and what is working for you right now.
Here's what's working for me. It's the same thing that's worked for generations before me. I give away a lot of free stuff through content like this. It hopefully helps people. That causes them to be more likely to buy from me later. There's, in any given market, whether it's a car market or people wanting to buy a lawnmower, there's like a tiny little atomic particle within that market of people that are ready to buy now. And then there's this giant universe of people who are going to be buying in the next 30 to 45 days. I give a lot of attention to that bigger universe of people, thus content like this. And then I do stuff like say, read this if you want to, sell more stuff on the internet. Like my longest running ad, literally, I can't beat this stupid ad. It looks terrible, but it still works. I've got lucky that it worked, but unfortunate that I didn't know how to operate the camera. But the beginning is like, my name is Frank Kern, and this is an ad. It is specifically an ad for people who want to sell things on the internet. And then I go into a pitch, and it's 7 minutes, and it works. So I do that, and it has always worked. And then I try to really make those people happy so they'll buy more stuff.
That's true. And if he wants to see more of your campaigns, you have them.
Yes.
In your community work, where could they see more of your stuff?
You should go to frankkernbook.com, ladies and gentlemen. That's frankkernbook.com. Operators are standing by. You know what's funny is someone in our community showed me a picture from eBay where someone's selling an old printed version of Convert 1.0. You get 2.0 at frankkernbook.com. $595.
Wow.
Are
Are they selling it?
They could get 2.0 for $5.60 right now.
Maybe it's signed.
I guess I should start selling 1.0 again,
There's always a buyer.
Yeah.
Organic traffic for beginner.
Content.
content.
Yeah, you just have to make a lot of it, make it good, and keep going. The first
Get better
bits
with
are going
it.
to be terrible.
Yeah, get better. And just focus on the better.
And focus on the
consistently.
audience. It's
course.
always about the audience. They don't care. Like, it's never about us.
Yes.
Nobody gives a damn. They care about what they want, how they're going to get it, how life is going to be like when they get it. It's all that your prospects are thinking about ever.
Yeah.
So just talk about that a lot.
Are there any questions you would like to address you think they should ask you?
I don't know. How can I buy more stuff from you, maybe?
Yeah, how can they buy more stuff from you, Frank?
Go to FrankKernBook.com and you'll get on my list, and I will email you 1 billion times and tell you how to buy more stuff.
Yeah, and if you like any of these questions, please like and subscribe, share, and follow.
All right, are we out of questions?
We're out of questions on this one. Do you want to add any more questions?
All right.
What would you like to add?
Nothing. I don't know how to end one of these things, though.
Oh,
Here's how we do it. Thanks for watching. Bye.